that we are looking forward right now to the threat from Iran, especially posed by a potential Biden administration. We are realists at the ACLJ. We're attorneys. And when you're realists and when you're attorneys, you know what you prepare for? Worst case scenarios. And we're getting closer and closer to worst case scenarios. We don't yet know what will happen in the Georgia Senate races, but some of the foreign policy realm is really conducted outside of Congress and is focused on, that's where the president and the Supreme Court's been clear on that. The Constitution's clear on that. The president has the most power when he's acting in foreign policy. And that is why, again, this Iranian threat that is emerging again, which was really kept under wraps by the Trump administration, by these new peace deals, by basically
isolating Iran.
What President Trump was doing through these peace deals was building the coalition to isolate Iran and make it very difficult for Iran. You had Saudis they've given the air rights for Israel to fly over commercial airliners, and they're doing so publicly. This is not just like private behind the scenes intel work. So they were building that coalition, but the Biden team could come in and just totally eviscerate that.
Yeah, and I think the reality is they probably will. Now, we've got...
they're threatening not to even send the F-35s that were part of the deal.
Right. So this is what you got. So we've got in our team at the ACLJ, we have depth here. We've got an office in Jerusalem. Skip Ash is in charge of our international law group, retired colonel from the United States Army. Wes Smith, retired colonel from the United States Army and also a senior military advisor to the ACLJ. I'm going to start with Wes and then go to Skip, and that is the threat from Iran now under an incoming Biden administration. The president isolated them. We had all those peace agreements signed. How's it going to look now?
It looks pretty bad. It really does. Joe Biden has indicated he wants to re-enter the JCPOA, even though it did nothing to stop Iran from acquiring a nuclear weapon. It just delayed it by a decade. Iran continues on their nuclear weapons program, unabated. What is going to happen if we don't do something is the most dangerous weapon in the world will be in the hands of the most dangerous country in the world. Already, they're violating the JCPOA. The IAEA 2 weeks ago said that Iran has already enriched 12 times the amount of nuclear material allowed by the JCPOA. They've increased the number of centrifuges, and they've buried them deep underground. They've also continued with their ballistic missile program. Iran is a threat. They are intent on acquiring a nuclear weapon, and the only hope of that not happening is for the world to unite and for the Biden administration not to change what President Trump has done.
The most dangerous weapon in the world with the most dangerous country in the world. Skip, how do you see it?
I see it exactly the same way. The people in Iran are religious supremacists who believe in an apocalyptic vision of how the world should proceed. They believe that they are the chosen people to bring this about. And the Trump administration was very wise in getting out of that agreement, cutting off their funding. So now they're in a very bad place economically. It looks like the incoming administration, the Biden administration, is going to reverse that to give them back the money, just like the Obama administration did, to give them the money they need to support terrorism and to support their missile and nuclear program, and that's going to be a disaster not only for the Middle East, but for the rest of the world.